Hello, I'm tuning in with another update. I believe this is startup diary number 3. I might actually do this video a little bit different this time just because I had a lot to update on the last video and it ended up just being in this entire 10 to 12 minute talking head video. A quick little update on this week. I essentially came back from a cabin trip and got incredibly sick. And so last week was a little bit of a write off, but what really helped move the needle forward was in the last 2 weeks, I was able to meet with 2 different veterans. And these are veterans in the industry, in the textile industry, the clothing space, and I even talked to a merino wool expert. It just goes to show whether or not you think you have a network, you're one action away from building that network just by hopping online, opening up a browser, and just looking up to see who is a thought leader in the space that you're interested in. So for me, it's just natural fibers. She happened to be doing kind of studying merino wool, but I'm kind of interested in natural fibers as a whole. Actually found her resources online through a series of blog posts that she wrote, but specifically one LinkedIn post that stood out. Through her LinkedIn, I then found her Substack, which was really, really new, but the content in it is just so good. It is so good because it's someone that is so deeply knowledgeable and is actively sharing her information and her expertise in real time. So she recently went to Europe to attend several conferences that are studying regenerative and regenerated natural fiber materials. And then she was also able to meet with so many different mills that are just like either just super underrated or just really working at the cutting edge of this arena. One of the pieces that stood out to me was the fact that I know so very little about the textile space. And I'm not saying that I need to be a textile scientist to make this brand successful, because I actually think that the more knowledgeable I am, the more it would help me build this brand. But there's always this upper limit of being too technical with anything. It just goes back to my days working in tech, where we've always been told that, a salesperson, an AE, an account executive is actually better off knowing just enough to sell and bringing in an expert like a solutions engineer to close the deal. And I actually feel the same way about the textile space. So I did a cold outreach and I was able to meet her, and it was just a very enlightening conversation. And now I have a connection in this industry and she's really eager to help. So another veteran that I met was actually somebody that I connected with through a wedding that I went to in Portugal. And it just goes to show, like, the more you know what you're working on and the more conviction you have, that translates into how you talk about what you're doing. And I think language is a very important medium to communicate things. If we don't have language, we don't have words, then we can't communicate. And if we don't know those words and we can't apply the right emotions to how we're talking about it, so how confident we are talking about it, it just doesn't come across well. And so I think even going to the wedding in Portugal and being asked, like, what am I doing now that I'm not looking for jobs? It was really good practice for me to actually go out there and essentially talk about what I'm doing, and doing it in a very short way, also known as an elevator pitch. And through that connection with my friend, I was actually able to meet his mentor, who happened to be a veteran in this industry. If you think about like the top yoga and activewear brand here in Vancouver, that is where the expertise is coming from. And I think even though looking back at last week sort of being a write-off, I was still able to, I think, do some really important work for my brand, which is actually just learning and expanding my knowledge. In terms of this week, one thing that I did a little bit differently was actually book a ticket to a founders event in Vancouver. I didn't know anybody other than, an acquaintance that started that nonprofit. He sent me the link and I was really interested in it because it turns out he's been running this nonprofit for years. He's an entrepreneur in Vancouver, and what that nonprofit does is it's called Brands for the Better, or Brands for Better. And the whole idea around it is it's completely volunteer based, and every single Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month, they'll host events throughout Vancouver, and they'll have different categories of speakers. And essentially it's to bring entrepreneurs together and to encourage future entrepreneurs to come together and help each other out. Specifically, the businesses that are coming here aren't just any businesses. It's kind of operated through the lens of propping up businesses that could be for profit or nonprofit, but also have like a deeper meaning around doing good in the world. And I really resonated with that. Of course, I mean, like, that's also kind of the business that I'm trying to create. Although I know that you need both. You can't can't just do good and not build a successful business that is actually making, revenue and profit. I think going there and just reminding myself that it's okay to like not know anybody and to practice that elevator pitch that I was doing at the wedding, it was a really good way to flex my muscle again. And I think I'm going to try to do more of those type of events in the future. At that event, I actually met a lot of different people that were really interesting. Some of them surprisingly were in the clothing space. I met somebody that just launched their clothing brand back in June, right in time for the World Cup, and I was connected to him. I met a lady that I would love to go for coffee with sometimes, actively seeking out more mentorship in this stage of my life. And I think that the thought of just working from my home here, it sounds great for filming and making content and doing deep work. But energetically, I also sometimes feel like I really need to get out there and meet people and just connect. And I think that's probably the extroverted version of me that is craving that type of connection, especially in the entrepreneur world. Yeah, I think that's really the update for now. Just finished my hydrofacial here at Lazara. I have been buying a package now for the last 2 years and it's worked out really well. Like, look at my skin. Look at my skin. It's super supple right now. But I always get their hydrofacials on discount and it works out really well because I'll get like 10 at a time and just use them throughout the year. Feels so good. I'm gonna go get some bubble tea now and bring it home. And I'm gonna bring it over. Yeah, get one for Alexi as well. This is a new bubble tea shop that I just found. Like, I stumbled upon it recently and it's super tiny, near actually the beauty clinic, and it doesn't seem to be open at night. It's only open in the daytime, so that's why I want to check it out today. It's called Bobo. Feels like Squamish is really developing right now. I love it. Today is Wednesday. Yesterday was an incredibly busy day. I'm trying to document my days a little bit more, show you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes of my life outside of just me building this business. I actually had an amazing day yesterday. I took myself out on a date in North Van, spent the day hiking in Deep Cove, and ended the day having happy hour dinner with some close friends, and then I hosted a sauna gathering at the new location, the new Gatherwell location in Vancouver. They just opened up a really beautiful property on the water. It's next to those marine boats, those marine houses actually, and they just opened a week ago. So I was able to host some of my girlfriends there, and it was just beautiful. Watch the sunset. I find that now that I don't work a 9 to 5 anymore, my identity is not only not tied to like a job title, it's also not tied to a team, and it's definitely not tied to like a work bestie anymore, which I really miss those connections, just being able to pop onto Slack and just say, hey, good morning, and just instantly feel like you're a part of something bigger. I'm super excited because initially I wasn't sure if I was honestly brave enough to start running kinship events, but essentially last summer my friend Angel and we started running summer events all over Vancouver. We did open yoga in the park, we did culinary experience with a new restaurant in Vancouver, all the way to like a DJ night with a coffee shop in Kitsilano. And the intention around Kinship Club was to just make being a creative founder a little bit less lonely by organizing very casual, in real life, in-person events. And they really took off last summer, and we paused because life got in the way. Angel moved to Paris and I went off traveling for 3 months. But now that I'm back in Squamish, I really want to make this more of a reality even here. I've been living in Squamish for a few years now and I crave community. So I've decided that I'm going to start small. Next week I'm hosting a creative co-work and trail break. It's super small, and the intention is just to train the muscle again to get started on creating these type of community events and hopefully go from there. And I think it will just give me a lot of accountability, but also inspiration. I found that ever since I've been building my brand FERVA. And at the end of the day, like if you're building something and you are a solo founder, it is incredibly lonely. And I think that's why having a really strong foundation, like a home, a partner who can kind of talk to you about things and support you emotionally is so key. I think if I didn't have my partner to be somewhat of a sounding board, I would spend so much more time talking to even more people than I'm talking to right now, just filling my calendar as much as possible, or actually just making it a priority at the business level to look for a co-founder. I read something online today. It's funny how like people refer, like they'll share a learning that they got from another creator and then talk about it in a video. I happen to consume that video, and now here I am sharing this with whoever's watching. There was a performance coach that had told somebody who shared this on the internet that a really good rule of thumb for just kind of moving towards the goals that you set for yourself is to end each week with like 5 rejections, basically 5 no's. And it's just this really easy way of thinking, like, by Friday, have I received 5 no's from anyone? And if I haven't, then that means I either 1, have not even tried to ask for something, or 2, my alarm is going off, or 2, you talk to people and you ask for things, but you didn't talk to enough people, so the volume is not there. My chicken is done, so I'm gonna go check on it. Good. Got a lot of drumsticks. Oh gosh. That looks delicious. I'm on a YouTube binge today and watched so many of Sophia Chang's marathon videos, and then now it's kind of queued up Whaley. I also just finished my friend Peggy's latest YouTube video, so it was like 12 minutes of like my show is on. But now my dinner is ready. Got the drumsticks out of the oven. I heated it up with some shawarma that we made a few days ago. It was leftover with some leftover rice, and this is just gonna be a really easy weekday dinner. The reality is during summertime, we like to order like meal prep that's frozen from a local company called Fierce Fuels. She does an incredible job. It's female owned. I first heard about her at the Squamish Farmers Market, but she does these really hearty meals that like are almost identical to the type of food that I would wanna cook myself. And it's well proportioned and it's super easy to grab and go during lunch when you're busy working and trying to squeeze in a workout. And it's even better after work, because when the summer is here and the sun is out, you only have a few hours before the sun sets. So it's been like a really easy way to just heat up some food in the microwave. They're all single serve. Just eat it real quick and then just go cycle to a river or something like that. We have so many of them today, but I just don't really feel like eating like frozen food. Like I have the time, so I just marinated million drumsticks. I used chashu sauce from T&T mixed with sambal oleg sauce, a little bit of soya sauce, oil, and garlic. And then I added in like so much onion, and it just tastes phenomenal.
This is a backpacking tent, although I will say this is more on the heavy side if you're really going to use it for backpacking. Yes. Okay, go land with it. Yes. Let's see. This point up here is probably the most flat. Yeah. There she goes. Navi will never lay on a bed that I set up for her, but she'll always lay on top of the tent. The moment I set it up, it's like she just knows. She loves going inside.
Are you hungry?
Oh my god.
Are you hungry?
Look at that.
Can I not just feed you?
On her right now.
Oh my god, I didn't feed him.
Did you put Ollie in the car?
I didn't feed you. I forgot I turned off the feeder. I'm so sorry. Watch this. Kylo, paw. Good boy. One more time. Kylo, paw. Good boy. Okay, okay. Okay, let's go get some food. Sorry, guys. Sorry. There you go. Sorry, Kai Kai. That's my bad.